You're looking at the first pictures of Earth taken by Artemis II. Commander Reid Wiseman took from the Orion capsule. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen said the crew was, quote, glued to the window. Mission specialist Christina Cook added there's, quote, nothing that prepares you for the view. The photos were taken shortly after the 4 astronauts completed their translunar injection burn last night. That's when the crew fired their engine for nearly 6 minutes to boost the ship's velocity to 24,500 miles an hour. The speed required to get out of Earth's gravitational grasp. NASA says the astronauts are in good spirits. This afternoon, they woke up to In a Daydream by the Freddie Jones Band. They were able to exercise and speak to their families. The crew is currently more than 149,000 miles from the moon, traveling at a speed of about 3,400 miles an hour. It's almost 5 times faster than the speed of sound. Earlier, CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassmann asked NASA about the significance of the crew's next major milestone, Monday's lunar flyby.
The whole point is to go back to the moon. The whole point of this mission is a campaign to get back to the moon. And the being able to see with human eyes the lunar surface is a huge milestone, right? And that just articulates the point, that we're going back to the moon. We're going to stay there.
And Mark Strassmann joins us now from the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Thank you so much for being here. Love the suit. So before we get to that milestone, what did the crew do on board Orion today, and why did they skip that extra burn?
Well, they skipped the extra burn, Lindsay, essentially because this is a flight test, and this capsule is just acing it. It's acing that test, and so they just didn't see any need to do it. But look, I want to give you a little tour here. This is Building 9. This is the training center at Johnson Space Center. There's a mock space station. There's a mock Soyuz capsule, and this is the mock Orion capsule. This crew of Artemis II would have spent hours in here training, getting ready for this mission, getting used to the configuration. If you come up here, you can see how many weeks to launch? 0 weeks to launch because they're already out in space. And this is, of course, an amazing achievement that has taken NASA years to get to this moment. With each passing second, the crew of Artemis II leaves the rest of us farther behind and gets closer to the moon. And if you saw the pictures that they sent back of Earth, that one big picture of Earth, that was basically a group shot of all of us except for the 4 of them. And it has really been some stunning images already. And Lindsay, I'm just looking forward to seeing what's coming up in the days ahead.
And, astronauts, they're just like us. They're humans, too. So I love learning about all the small details that seem small but are actually quite important. So the toilet issue got fixed. It was cold in the cabin, 65 degrees. They've warmed it up. They've had some trash they've had to figure out where to put. I mean, this is essentially a mission. This is the mission to figure out how to live there.
It is a mission to figure out how to live there. Let me show you something else, too. It's a mission to figure out how to live. Dwayne, we'll walk over here. Mission to figure out how to live there. But remember, too, there's a 500,000-mile road trip where it's the size of inside of 2 minivans, and nobody can get out. I mean, that sounds awful, and yet they're thrilled to be here. You can see this shot here of the 4 astronauts, Wiseman, Hansen, and over here, Victor Glover and Christina Cook. And some of the watchwords of this trip, responsibility, teamwork, vigilance, confidence, toughness, discipline. They're going to need all of that stuff when you consider that, again, they're with each other in a tightly controlled space for 9 days and 500,000 miles, and the conditions inside are not awful, but they're not ideal either. And so it's all of these virtues are going to come into play to have a successful trip on a personal level. That's for sure. And you can't beat the views.
Your question was about that pivotal flyby. So we also learned there's going to be a comms blackout for 40 minutes. NASA didn't seem concerned about that. Essentially, it's my understanding that Orion's like on cruise control until it gets back to the front of the moon. Physics is going to do its job. What will the crew be doing during that far side flyby?
Taking a lot of pictures, and not with their iPhones. They are going to be taking a lot of pictures with special cameras. When I say a lot, I mean like 10,000 pictures that they're hoping to take on the far side of the moon. And they will also be using their eyes as scientific instruments of their own. I mean, they want to make observations. They will see parts of the moon, perhaps, that no human has seen before. And so the images that capture the memories that they return with are all going to be a big help to NASA when this crew comes back, when this mission is over, as the space agency gets ready for an eventual moon landing in early 2028. And that will be right now with Artemis IV, Lindsay.
All right, your cameraman's got the camera on the shoulder. Anything else you want to show us before we goodnight you?
Let's see. You can just see all the hardware here about the capsule and the signs of the monitors that you can see inside the capsule itself. All of this stuff is really.
The bathroom is underneath.
Oh, there's a bathroom underneath? Okay.
Underneath right there is where the bathroom was.
Oh, it's where the bathroom was, because you brought up. It was funny when they had the toilet issue. Christina Cook was joking that she fixed it, and she was joking that she was happy to be the space plumber. I thought that was funny. And you know, 3 guys standing around, and it takes the woman to fix the toilet. You know,
Go figure. Send a woman,
right?
Mark. You know this.
Right. Go figure. Right. Go figure. Go figure. She's the problem solver.
We try to tell you guys, you just don't listen. Mark Strassmann, thanks so much.
Yeah.